So we're going to do a tour today of the Tennessee Stillhouse, which is home of the Chattanooga Whiskey Company. Now, Chattanooga had over a 100-year ban on the distillation of whiskey in Hamilton County due to Prohibition, and after Prohibition was over, they never repealed that law. Fortunately, in 2013, the state of Tennessee passed a law that said if you can sell distilled liquors in your county, then you can also distill those liquors in that county. So with that, we're going to take a tour of the Chattanooga Whiskey Company, Tennessee Stillhouse. The distiller here, the master distiller, used to be the head brewer over at Sam Adams, Boston Beer Company. So they're going to be doing some really interesting things here, and we'll go inside and take a look at everything they're doing.
Our company was started in 2011 by two friends, Tim Pearson and Joe Ledbetter. They were just really big whiskey enthusiasts, and they wanted to start their own company. So doing that research to get started up, they come to find out it's illegal to distill here in Hamilton County. It's just one of those leftover laws from Prohibition that never got flipped back. Prior to Prohibition, though, from about 1866 to 1915, we were one of the top distilling towns in the nation. Just right out here at Main and Market, all the way down to the river, we had over 20 distilleries and 60 wholesalers.
Holy cow.
Yeah, huge part of our culture. Then Prohibition hits, so it all goes away. Even after Prohibition is lifted and we can buy and sell alcohol, but as far as making spirits is concerned, it never ended in Hamilton County. But Joe and Tim still wanted to move forward with plans for a couple of reasons. Whiskey is not the best business model. You need all that money up front for your supplies, your equipment. You make your product, and then you sit on it for a few years while it's aging, and you're not getting that money back in any time. So they wanted a product out there so they can get some revenue coming in for the business, as well as they knew they ultimately wanted to get the law changed, so they wanted a product out there to stay at the forefront of people's minds. So when it came time to start lobbying, they knew they could rely on the support of that community that wanted to bring whiskey back. But for now, their hands are tied. We can't make it here. They had to go source it from somewhere else. So I went and sampled some other whiskeys from different distilleries. Love the kind they found up in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. It was made at the formerly known LDI distillery. It's now MGP. It's purely a contract facility, meaning all they do is just make whiskey. They don't market it or brand it or sell it to the public. They just sell it to other companies to do that.
Okay.
So it's a huge facility. It's where a lot of rye whiskeys are coming out of as well. So Bullet Rye, Dickel Rye, Angel Envy, all that's coming out of MGP. But that's where we sourced our 1816 line, what's on the shelves, and y'all will be sampling here in a little bit. It's a very traditional bourbon mash bill. It's got 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. The distiller that made it, his name is Larry Eversole. He worked at that distillery for over 30 years, so quite a career of it. It was actually one of his last batches he made before he retired, so kind of an added bonus for us. They named it 1816 as a transparency statement. That was the year Chattanooga was founded, but we weren't quite Chattanooga. We were called Ross's Landing. We were just a small trading post on the river. It wasn't until several years later that we grew and got renamed. So they launched that product, it hits the shelves, so now it's time to start lobbying. It was their Vote Whiskey campaign. It lasted a year and a half, but finally, on April 18th, 2013, the state passes a bill that basically says that as long as you can buy and sell liquor in your county, you can also make it. So not only open up distilling here in Hamilton County, but over 90 municipalities throughout the state.
Wow.
So we're all square in the eyes of the law. Now we just need a place to start making this stuff. They go and they look at a couple buildings downtown. Due to some structural issues, didn't quite work out. A lot of heavy equipment, old buildings, not the best match. So they decided to scale down production, become a micro distillery, and here we are. We opened mid-March of this year, so still kind of new, but this is the first legal still in Chattanooga in about 100 years since Prohibition. Pretty small scale production at this point. We can only do about a barrel a week. And our head distiller, you'll see him popping around in there. His name is Grant McCracken. He moved down from Boston, Massachusetts. He was a head brewer for research and development of Boston Beer Company.
That's where I've seen his name before.
Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, really accomplished in that brewing career. He created over 60 recipes for Sam Adams while he was there. So definitely that brewing knowledge with those specialty grains that brewers are so familiar with, that's going to be the cornerstone that sets our product aside from many of the other things out there right now. But don't get us wrong, we can definitely appreciate a traditional bourbon. That's why we have that 1816 line. But this is the first legal batch of whiskey since Prohibition. So we're going to make it special, we're going to make it unique. So rather than just using plain rye, plain malted barley, these specialty grains will have crazy things like chocolate malted barley, coffee smoked rye, peat smoked rye, honey malts, caramel malts, even different strands of yeast, champagne yeast, wine yeast, ale yeast, endless number of combinations you can make with this stuff. So we don't even know what our first recipe is at this point. We're purely in experimentation mode. They've projected that we have about 3 to 4 years left of that 1816 to kind of float us. So a little bit of wiggle room, about a year or so to play around with different recipes, pick the one we want, then mass produce that, give that a few years to age, and then should be able to make a smooth transition into our true Chattanooga whiskey again.